Hi, my name is Tamarah from Green Global Consulting. Today I'll be discussing the Tower B in the Centennial Plaza site. I'll be looking at the current rating system and evaluating the current sustainability performance of the building. I will analyse the options to retrofit the building and then discuss my recommendations on how the sustainability performance can be improved in both the short to long term. In Australia, there are currently two rating systems available to communicate the sustainability of commercial buildings. The first is the National Australian Built Environment Rating System, NABERS, which is a government initiative to measure the performance of buildings. Then there's Green Star, which is an industry initiative to encourage and promote sustainable building design. The current rating tool being used is NABERS. This rating is broken up into an energy rating of 4.5 stars and a water rating of 4 stars. The energy rating was previously only 2 stars. The highest NABERS rating you can get is 6 stars. However, the average building is usually only 2.5 stars. So therefore, a 4.5 star rating is quite high and means that the subject building is at least 20% more efficient than the general commercial market. Green Star is a voluntary rating system that evaluates the environmental design and construction of buildings and communities. This is most commonly used for new buildings. However, Green Star has created a draft performance scoping paper that will rate the sustainability performance of existing buildings also. However, the current rating tool is NABERS, and it is most suited to the building, as Green Star is still in its draft stage for existing buildings. Currently, Tower B is quite a sustainable building. Invest has clearly invested time and money into improving the overall sustainability of the building. Invest has included methods to reduce the energy consumption of the building by including electricity submetering with 15-minute intervals with online interface, variable speed controllers to major plant motors, ongoing operational and seasonal management strategies, and new ozone-friendly and energy-efficient chillers. Invest has put into place methods to reduce waste in the building and encourage recycling. The management strategies they use to achieve this are a tenant-commingled waste recycling program, recycling services for e-waste, phones and batteries, strict contractor regulations to maximise diversion of construction waste from landfill, which is now more than 80%, and provide certification. Invest has used water-saving technologies to make the building more sustainable. They have implemented waterless urinals, flow restrictors on all taps, remote water treatment monitoring, water submetering with 15-minute intervals with online interface, dual flush systems in all the toilets, and a drip-feed watering system in the garden. Through these sustainable methods, Invest has managed to decrease their overall consumption. From 2003 to 2011, they have managed to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by 17%, their energy consumption by 23%, their gas consumption by 55%, and their water consumption by 48%. Some environmentally sustainable retrofitting options are: in the short term, Investor could install energy-efficient lighting such as T5 or solid-state lights and LED downlights. They could install skylights to reduce the need for lighting during the day, and they could also install renewable energy sources on the site like solar panels on the roof. In the long term, Investor could include a tri-generation plant that could supply energy, heating and cooling for the 3 buildings on the site. Tri-generation systems are a great way to reduce a building's energy consumption as it runs on natural gas. The tri-generation plant will supply more energy than is needed, so they can make a deal with some of the surrounding buildings to split the cost of installation and share the benefits of the system. They could incorporate a grey water recycling plant into the building, which will further reduce the consumption of outside water sources. The current building is well positioned on the site, and it has many access points. The setbacks are a reasonable distance from the sidewalk. However, the building looks very dated and is out of character with the surrounding development, even though they are mostly older buildings as well. The buildings are a horrible colour and are currently an eyesore. The building would greatly benefit from a revamp of the external walls. By painting the building a more natural colour, the building would then complement its surroundings. The building's exterior is mostly glass, which is a very good feature, as this allows natural sunlight to enter the building, which reduces the need for artificial lighting during the day. The commercial office sector of the market is quite competitive, so therefore property owners have to keep up with the tenant demand for sustainable buildings. Even though the subject building is 98.8% occupied by government agencies, the building still needs to be competitive. Studies have shown that buildings with the higher NABERS ratings are more attractive to quality tenants such as government agencies. and therefore, consequently, achieve higher leasing and sale valuations. As stated previously, there are many options available to investors to retrofit the subject building. The one that I feel would be the most beneficial in terms of making the building more sustainable is the inclusion of a tri-generation plant on the site. This is a long-term project but will yield significant results in reducing the building's energy consumption. The cost to install would be significant, but these plants are known to pay themselves off in 5 to 7 years. Also, investors could enter into an environmental upgrade agreement to get low-interest finance to fund it. Also, by splitting the cost with other surrounding buildings, this would make it much more viable to install. All the proposed short-term options can be implemented straight away. The long-term options could be implemented and completed within the next 6 months.